understand when I say this. We do not move to America because we think it's a better country. We move here because it's a little less worse than our other countries. Because you're stupid to think that we moved to this country for some hot dogs and some baseball. We have better vibes, music, food, culture, history, literally all of the above. We just move here because we are looking to make more money and offer a better chance for our families. Did you know that the minimum wage a day, not an hour, a day in Mexico is not even 15 American dollars? Not even 15 American dollars. Right now with $15 in San Diego, I could go maybe buy a matcha and half of a granola bar, honey.
The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing the Trump administration to restart deportations of migrants to countries other than their own. The case stems from an instance last month when immigration officials sent 8 people on a plane to South Sudan, though they were then diverted to Djibouti. A judge in Boston found that violated his court order, giving people a chance to argue that they could face torture if deported. The Supreme Court said its order will remain in place while the government appeals the Boston judge's ruling. All 3 liberal members of the court dissented.
Breaking news, the Supreme Court just sided with Donald Trump and ruled that migrants can be deported to dangerous countries without due process. Until this week, migrants facing deportation to a so-called third country, a place that isn't their own, had a constitutional right to object if they feared torture or abuse. But that protection is gone. On Monday, the Supreme Court lifted a federal judge's order that had temporarily blocked the Trump administration from carrying out third country removals without warning. The case began when a group of migrants, including people from Cuba, Mexico, Laos, and Vietnam, were detained in Djibouti and scheduled to be deported to South Sudan, a country the U.S. warns against visiting due to kidnapping and armed conflict. The judge said that deportations would violate the Constitution. Trump appealed to the Supreme Court and won. The court's 6-3 ruling clears the way for more deportations to dangerous countries like Libya and South Sudan, even if migrants have never lived there, and even if they were never told. The White House defended the move, saying the migrants were dangerous criminals and that their home countries refused to take them back. But civil rights groups warn this could put people at risk of death, torture, or disappearance without a chance to object.
Significant win for the Trump administration. Here, the High Court allowing them to resume deporting migrants to countries other than their homeland. And we're talking about some sort of turmoil-ridden countries like South Sudan, because a lower court judge had ruled that the Department of Homeland Security had to provide migrants written notice about where they were going and give them an opportunity to challenge that deportation on the ground that they could face torture or other adversity. Now, this lower court judge also said that deporting these individuals to third-party countries without due process unquestionably violated their constitutional protections. But now, while this litigation continues to play out, the Supreme Court allowing the administration to continue sending these migrants to third countries. And roughly 1 million people now are eligible to be deported to these other countries. And I think it's notable here, the court did not really give a lengthy explanation of their analysis, but there is a pretty fiery dissent from the liberal justices, written by Justice Sotomayor, who wrote, quote, "Rather than allowing our lower court colleagues to manage this high-stakes litigation with the care and attention it plainly requires, this court now intervenes to grant the government emergency relief from an order it has repeatedly defied. I cannot join so gross an abuse of the court's equitable discretion." She goes on to say that the court's decision to grant the government equitable relief is not the first time the court closes its eye to noncompliance, nor, she writes, I fear, will it be the last. So clearly, she is not happy with this decision.